let's do it. No, do not give me the fucking no. It's all sad times now. It's all give me back the sad music. Fuck. My computer doing exactly what I told it to do. Let's do a different one. Garam the First Hunter is pretty good. Hello, everybody. It's me, the stoic dude in a toga that says things at you for about 2 to 3 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, except for this week where we're doing it every single day of the week, including Saturdays. How you doing? Let's catch up on chat. Ma, get the box. The robot is being weird again. Hello, welcome in, Melkor the Great. Hello, Shelly. How you doing? How are the... Holy crap, thank you so much for the sub, Nova. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy your lurk, my friend. Brian, I heard Stoic broke your heart. I didn't do shit. He did that to himself. I could have just like left him to his own devices, thinking that he and I were gonna have a good time on Fallout 76, and then I could have been like, psych, I have to do my hair. Sorry about it. You broke Robin phrase. Yeah, both of them at the same time. All I did, I swear, all I did was say, hey, listen, I'm a busy robo man. All right, we got to do some stuff that's a little bit off the normal script, and we got to make it happen one way or another. And so Monday is my special themed thing today. Tuesday, we're doing Raft with Felicity Ryan and her hubby, Sign of Flame. Wednesday, we are doing a Power Wash Simulator with the excellent X-Ray Specs, great artist. Thursday, we're going to be doing It Takes Two collab with my wife, assuming that the setup works correctly, because I'm going to have to do a hybridization of a whole bunch of different technological things that where if any one of them breaks, then the stream just basically can't happen through like a capture card. And then I have like an audio splitter that connects to both of our headsets simultaneously. And so if we can't hear the stream, we can't do the stream. If the capture card doesn't want to play, then we can't do the stream. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to character building. I think that I have a sense that it's all going to be wonderful, but we'll see, you know, when the pin drops, won't we? And then Friday, I put my hands together. Welcome in, Crucian. Friday, we're going to be doing Fallout 76. So all that Franny and Rom have to do is just fucking sit there. Just sit there quietly until Friday. That's it. It's only like, I can't do napkin math right now, if you can even qualify it as that. What, like 124 hours? That's nothing. That's like one session of like the Fortnite or like the Overwatch or whatever it is that you fucking Zoomers are playing now and getting yourself into. You know? 96 hours. Thank you, Melkor. +1. He hates us now? That's not true. That's not true. I take away your favorite thing, which apparently is my presence, for 2 out of the 3 days that we normally spend together. But that's it, baby. That's it. It's not gonna go down. It's not gonna. This isn't a new me, okay? I'm not gonna do this to you every week. I'm just gonna do it to you really, really hard, extremely hard this particular week. Welcome in, Coffee. Coffee's a great person, great artist. We hung out recently, bonding over Stardew Valley, where I pathologically tried to battle royale the Stardew Valley town, and she was doing everything in her power to try to stop my baser instincts from completely taking over and installing a razor wire perimeter around the farm. She did a pretty good job. It was only until the very end that I started, you know, slingshotting the blacksmith, and then I proceeded to burst into the bar and systematically take down at least 4 or 5 other, I don't know what any of their names were. And by the time I was done with them, they were basically unrecognizable. Let's be real. It was really quite a fucked up sight, let me tell you what. Boa Kumi is also here, a big titty goth frog witch, swamp witch, big titty, plays Overwatch 2. She plays Overwatch 2. She plays Fortnite sometimes. She is trying to get into Helldivers. It's giving her some trouble, but she's believed that she's figured it out. She's also an excellent artist. And how cool is that? We got Melkor the Great in here. Solid dude, literally and figuratively. Was recently playing an Elden Ring randomizer that I appreciated a lot. Is also doing a Bejeweled tournament, which is very cool. Welcome in, No Flow. He's always hated us. He doesn't even move his mouth when he talks to us. Yeah, I mean, I have limits. I have my pride to consider. You kidding? No, what the hell? You literally gaslit me only for like 5 minutes. Only for like 5 minutes, maybe borderline 10 minutes if you really stretch the definition of what gaslit is. He does it to all of us. That's cap. He canceled our Fallout 76 gaming for 2 out of the 3 days. Does your wife know that you're doing chat extremely hard? She does. I do have her set up with a different, better version of the headset of shame. So if you're not familiar, my wife and I exist basically in the same living room space. So where I do my streaming is where the TV stuff also happens. And she's really gotten into PS5 recently. And she do be gaming hard on the couch right now. She had a headset of shame, which was like one of those like office headsets that has like the one ear cup, the one earbud. I don't know what word you want to use there. Uncomfortable, but is the most comfortable of the versions I could find. She now has a Barracuda X, so she is fucking living it up on the couch right now. She's pogging out of her gourd at the moment. It's giving excellent sound quality, as the Zoomers say, in between bites of avocado toast and Fortnite Orange Justice dancing and ordering a new iPhone every 5 seconds. Play a lot of games. Sorry, Sobs. You shouldn't be gaslighting anyway. Oh, it was only for like 10 minutes and we were hanging out for like 4 hours. We were hanging out for like 4 hours. I just want to be sure. Did this? Don't worry. I'm not forcing you to resub, Nova. I just want to check the alerts were.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one.
They did. They do. Very good. All right, we're gonna get into some things before I say.
Stoic, have a great stream.
About 8,000 words at you minimum. Okay. This is Stoicism stream number 4, not number 5. I mislabeled it. On 3/25, March 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard or regional equivalent, we're going to be doing a 24-hour up to a 24-hour subathon for my 1-year affiliate versary. It's going to start out at 6 hours. There's going to be Twitch chat games all the way throughout. All the way. I'm talking like marbles on stream. I'm talking Call of the Lamb. I'm talking, if I'm going to say this wrong, Kokoro stream chat games. And one other thing that I simply do not remember, but know is good. It's going to end no matter what, no matter how much time is on the clock. It has to end by 2 p.m. the following day on Tuesday, so that I don't completely drive my wife insane. All right, I have to take that consideration into mind with pretty much everything I do. We're going to be talking about the channel's history. We're going to talk about the projects that I'm working on at that time, and the future of the channel. What I see myself doing, where I hope the channel is going to take me, yada yada yada. I already went over the stuff that we're going to be going over this week, but I'm going to do a quick rundown. Tuesday, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, RAF with Felicity Ryan. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, we're going to be doing Power Watch Simulator with X-Ray Specs. 7 p.m. It Takes Two with Wife on Thursday. 7 p.m. Fallout 76. So, you know, look forward to that, Franny and Rom for sure. And then Saturday, I need to play Unicorn Overlord. It's been sitting on the PS5 for like 1,000 years, and yet I am such a professional streamer that I've not torn myself away to go and play the thing. So I'm going to force it in front of Death Stranding, and then we'll see how long I'm able to balance both Death Stranding and Unicorn Overlord on Saturdays. Yeah, so I think that we're pretty caught up now. Welcome in, Blue Blur. How is Final Fantasy VII Remake? What are your thoughts on it? If you care on sharing, and if you don't, that's totally fine. Totally fine. You've been streaming, lots of words coming out of you. You might just want to chill. I respect that. Oh my God, it wasn't here. Repeat it all. Okay, so on Tuesday, no, just watch the VOD. Just watch it. No, just watch the VOD. Just take clips of everything that I say every minute until this is over, and then just let her rip after that. Okay, so like the first 3 Stoicism streams, this is going to run a bit differently than our normal. I'm going to sort of just talk at you and with you about Stoicism, which is the ancient practical self-help life philosophy I've been practicing for over a decade, and let's be honest, probably forever. Truly, chat. Stop me at any time for any reason to ask questions. I'm occasionally going to be stopping myself to read questions on the completely anonymous question site I pinned. That's at the top of the chat that you see on screen. That's in the title. But basically, it's just going to be you and me hanging out, talking about stuff as simple as how to feel better about tripping, eating shit, and breaking your favorite coffee mug, to how do you make sure that you do the right thing and that you feel completely good about it when your workplace is asking you to do something messed up to make it look better. I'm doing this and all other Stoic streams to possibly help even one person the way that my role models help me. I owe it to them, and I owe it to you, and I owe it to myself. There's not going to be any particular length of time that this thing is going to run. We're just going to keep going at it until I simply run out of things to say, that chat doesn't have any other questions, or it just seems like a good place to stop. If you still need to, and I should have said this in the beginning, but, you know, YOLO or whatever, grab a drink, grab a snack, stretch, put on music, or listen to mine, whatever you need to do, because once I start making sounds with my mouth, it's probably not going to stop for a while. Going great. I love it. All the Final Fantasy games, so I might be a little biased. Yeah, I played the original Final Fantasy VII. I also enjoyed and appreciated the twists and turns that the Final Fantasy VII remake did. I don't fully agree with them because I'm one of those people that was like, the original story or bust. Just give me better graphics. Just give me better graphics in VA, and that's all that I expect. But I understand that for Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's going to be affecting a whole host of people that have never experienced the original. And to be honest with you, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. It's going to be covering over a lot of the unpleasantries of, you know, PS1 turn-based RPG gaming that we take for granted now. So if it's your first Final Fantasy VII, which is a weird sentence for me to hear myself say out loud, then Final Fantasy VII Remake, totally fine and great and dandy. I mean, I get that though. I wanted a Final Fantasy X 10-2 remake, and they better not mess with that story at all. I think your chances are good if the same guy that is not heading Kingdom Hearts also doesn't head Final Fantasy X or 10-2 remake. I think a Final Fantasy X remake is inevitable, considering that it is like an inflection point for the insane popularity in the same way, I would argue, as Final Fantasy VII was on the original PlayStation. We already have a 10 to 10-2 remaster. What I mean to say is remake. If I said remaster, I meant remake. We do have a 10-2 remaster for sure, but I mean like from the ground up. And just if you could give me like a whole, you know, complete revamp of like Blitzball and just like have it be the same but better or whatever, that would be great. Did I do your ooh-woo, Felicity? Ooh-woo, just in case? All right, so let's get started. Let's get started, right?
Somebody come quick!
I'm a clown.
Okay, what is Stoicism? In extreme short, it's a 2,000-year-old Greco-Roman self-actualization life philosophy that's about living in accordance with uppercase nature. The closest modern-day counterpart is cognitive behavioral therapy, which borrows a ton from it. Living in accordance with nature, per the Stoics, is to do everything that we reasonably can to determine what is most appropriate for us to do in any given situation as social and rational creatures, aka, as we typically refer to it, what is the right thing to do, and then do that thing regardless of what we get out of it or what happens to us, positive or negative. The core idea being that things like power, fame, money can very quickly come and go to people that are both good and evil, while the knowledge that we're actively and purposely doing the right thing can never be taken away from us except by ourselves. And so we should focus our feeling of what we should and shouldn't value on that. They just need to bring Blitzball back to Final Fantasy XIV. How do I Stoicism in Final Fantasy XI? By learning to embrace that you are going to probably go like 0 out of 50 on Peacock Amulet, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. We live in a world in which things are constantly happening, both to us and around us. Our daily life consists of countless human-made and organized systems, with the people involved each having their own opinions, habits, and judgments about things. The roles that we play, willingly or unwillingly, can support or contradict each other. And we must decide using the best knowledge that we have, the resources that we have, and what time we have it to choose what kind of roles and duties take priority. I might need you to explain that to President Shinra. I'm doing it right now. He's one of my top viewers, actually. You can see him. It's for some reason it's not showing up, but he just gave me 100 gifted subs. So in Stoicism, these roles all have a greater purpose than themselves, being material for our own self-improvement and to show others it's possible to self-improve through whatever jobs or duties that we have. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic who historians called one of the 5 good emperors in ancient Rome, called these roles or jobs or careers or relationships fuel for the fires that are inside of us, so that we become continually better than we were before. Even if we misstep, even if we fail, even if what we happen to be dealing with is really fucked up, there is always some good to be found in how we try to recover ourselves and make use of whatever is happening to us. This general idea applies to all types of roles. Our family role as a son or daughter, or brother or sister, or father or mother, or the roles that are in our job as a cashier, or in sales, or working with special needs populations, that sort of thing. Or the roles as part of our job, hobbies, projects, or aspirations, like if we get into working with wood, or making video games, or making art, or writing, or streaming. For the Stoics, the point of trying to do things this way and thinking this way is to one day reach something called eudaimonia, a state of being where we feel tranquil, we feel fulfilled, and we feel self-sufficient everywhere and in everything. We make little bits of progress towards this state by helping ourselves develop good person habits, becoming virtuous. And the virtues, the Stoics, are defined as traits that are beneficial to our designs by whatever powers that be as social and rational creatures. Like other animals, we have sets of mundane needs, like the need to eat or drink or sleep or bang, I suppose. Unlike other animals, though, we have a higher order need on top of all that that's caused by the thing that really makes us unique as a species, the ability to reason. Reason makes us collectively born with a desire to seek out what it means to be a good person, and at some basic core level be thought of as being a good person, whether we end up being introverted or extroverted. But this capacity is also completely untrained in us, and we need some combination of hands-on, deliberate experience tapping into, along with guidance, to quickly get us up to speed. And by quickly, I mean typically over, a period. There's no like, okay, you start here and then you get your Stoic degree after like 3 or 4 years. Let me check to see if there's any questions or comments that have been left in the Telegram. So Telegram doesn't involve, the site that I have posted everywhere doesn't require you to sign up. It doesn't require you to register any information. It just requires you to pick a username and then ask a question. Like it says at the top, I'm going to be grabbing appropriate questions. Not that we've ever experienced inappropriate questions, but don't put any personally identifiable information in there, just because it's not just me that sees it. Other people can see other people's questions. So just if you have something that you don't want associated with your Twitch username or whatever, then you're free to put it in there. Just don't put like I'm arguing with my neighbor and my neighbor and I live at 69 no holds barred DTF Boulevard. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let me check. Is it time for Final Fantasy 11 again? Hell yeah. No, I'm sorry. Society has made CBT more of a negative thing as it's used to reprogram neurodivergent people to be more normal. Sorry. Thank you so much for the subscription, Hero. I greatly appreciate it.
P-O-G-C-H-A-M-P-E-R-O-N-I-S.
Why didn't you just say it? Shout out Jukebox Hero. And if you see a streamer that has not been shouted out yet, which is all of them, here was the first one. There just happened to be a pretty like a majority streamers talking at the very beginning. Just shout each other out. It's Franny B. Shout out Blue Blur. All these people if you value my opinion at all, are absolutely worth following, and they bring their own unique qualities to the table. And mint leaf, you also get one leaf. There you is. There you is. All right, let me reread this comment to make sure I understand it. Society has made CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, more of a negative thing as it's used to reprogram neurodivergent people to be more normal, but you use it to explain the positives of Stoicism. Where do you draw the line of going too far? I will admit to you on this Twitch streaming platform that I do not subscribe or like or follow them on Instagram, the ideas of cognitive behavioral therapy. I focus completely on Stoicism and through that lens exclusively. So I can't maybe you can comment again and explain to me like an example of what it is that you're asking about. For my part, there's nothing that's in Stoicism that prevents anyone from utilizing it, regardless of how they identify. If that means anything, that the core tenets are unchanged. The characteristics that you're trying to develop in yourself, aka courage and endurance and patience and appreciation, are something that anyone can apply, regardless of background or status or position or identity. Don't listen Stoic, you can join my church, Stoictology, where you start at fuck off. That's an OT Stoic level 0, but if you give me $5 million, you could reach level 2 OT Stoic level, so you know how Stoic you are all the time. Oh my god, that sounds great. Sign me up. Moral obligation versus mental health. If you feel morally obligated to do something, but it affects your mental health to do so, do you do the thing or do you protect your mental health? We'll actually talk about that more later. A little bit later with a specific example that I had. But to respond a little bit to your question now, in a situation where you start to feel motivated and to a degree that you probably have never felt motivated before in your life, at least in my extremely personal circumstance, you may have a tendency to try to take on way too much on purpose for what appears to be the greater good at the time. So when I was in college and first starting to practice Stoicism, I let myself become part of student government. I let myself be a full-time student. I let myself be what was essentially a full-time job as a resident assistant. And I worked with special needs populations, volunteering on top of that. Way too much. Way too much for a person. I basically had no time, no downtime whatsoever, no time to unwind or anything. And it was around the time that I started to get physiological symptoms. That was when I started pulling back a little bit. I have the benefit now of understanding what my physiological limitations are. Welcome in, Bailey. Wonderful person, plays a lot of games that I think deserve Bailey's touch, such as a recent Resident Evil-esque PS1 game about vampires. Also cleared Sea of the Stars. That was an excellent playthrough. I was there the whole time for that. Couldn't get enough of it. YouTube chat. Molly Scoid says, I always find it interesting the parallels between Taoism, and Stoicism, where there are several marked differences in particular with an emphasis on action without action. And I'm going to butcher that word. Please forgive me, but similarities. I also agree. I have a book about Taoism on my bookshelf about like 20 feet behind me, and I need to whip it out again. Because at the time that I originally picked it up, I had no idea how to parse any of what I was reading. And granted, it may have something to do with the translation that I was working with. It was a very neat looking book visually. So, you know, chances are good, or at least better, that I'll be able to maybe like gather or absorb like an amoeba, a semblance, as opposed to 0% of what I originally read. So I'm looking forward to that, and thank you for reminding me of that and for chatting. So for the Stoics, the point of trying to do things this way and thinking this way is to one day reach something called eudaimonia, a state of being where we feel tranquil, fulfilled, self-sufficient. We make little bits of progress at a time towards this state by helping ourselves develop good person habits, being virtuous. Unlike other animals, we have a higher order need that's created by reason. Reason it makes us collectively born with a desire to seek out what it means to be a good person, to be thought of as a good person. This capacity is untrained, so we have to basically accidentally and intentionally, typically it's a combination, to get us at a point where we start acting quote unquote in line with our design by whatever the powers that be, to basically not be shitty to each other, and to do our best to try to be role models for each other. This is why most people in the world, through no fault of their own, work and operate under, including myself for a large portion of my life, and to some degree I still do. I'm not a sage, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that thinks way too much and has applied a fair amount of this stuff successfully and is sharing it with you live in front of a studio audience. Most of us work and operate under a sort of confusing mishmash of ideas of what a good person or an evil person is and does. This is influenced by your culture, the media that you expose yourself to, and is imposed on you right from the get-go. The belief systems, the behaviors and family and habits of your family or your community, and any number of formative experiences that are positive or negative. With care, time, effort, and trying to be a good person and perform good actions for their own sake, and focusing all of your energy on the idea that should be enough and the rest will necessarily happen the way it will, behaving virtuously does begin to become second nature. Welcome in, Cal. Cal, have you been streaming recently? I could just, the power of the internet to check. So I'm gonna shout you out anyway. Oh my god, you last played Final Fantasy 11? Me too. What a coincidence. All right, no new comments on the Telegram. We will just keep going. It becomes second nature to the point that even if you're subjected to something that seems stronger than your ability to resist it, such as a breakup or chronic pain or some massive financial loss, you will be able to inwardly withstand it better than you expect. No, you haven't? When was the last time you streamed? You don't have to answer that. I just think about you. I just miss your mug, that's all. You feel this underlying current of resilience that empowers you, it keeps you moving and operating not just in spite of the stress, but to actively consume and repurpose the stress that you happen to feel in that moment into a sort of fuel. I thought this was PSO for a moment, but yeah, Final Fantasy 11 is a very great game. Phantasy Star Online has been on my radar for about 1,000 years. Specifically, Phantasy Star, and correct me if I'm wrong, please. Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis, although I heard something about there's some sort of drama that's happening where the company that happens to have control of one or another version, maybe the version that's on Steam, is microtransactioning the hell out of it, or doing a bunch of tweaks and bits and bobs that don't gel with the player base and they hate it. Welcome back in, X-Ray. I just talked you up a whole bunch at the very beginning. Specs. You don't have to do anything with this information except to know it. That's New Genesis, yeah. I have been thinking about it. I fucked with Phantasy Star Online before, like not the original. Well, technically I did, but the remaster, whatever one came before Phantasy Star Online 2, is one that I got into. Completely overwhelming. It's completely unlike acts unlike any other MMO that I played up until that point. All new terms, all new classes. So definitely an adjustment for me. But I played one of the robot people. I bet you can't believe that. I bet that's surprising to you. I was rocking to Stacy's mom. Sorry. No, me too. I feel that. Base, the true and base take. You stay the acting agent. You stay in command when you're trying to turn the things that seem to be trying to overcome you in any given situation onto its head. and as usable fuel for your own self-improvement. Your choices stand apart from whatever difficult thing you're dealing with. And because your intentions begin and end with you, no matter what happens, any good that comes out of thinking this way is self-sustaining and self-fulfilling. The Stoics refer to these tough situations, big or small, as the Olympics happening now. And the Olympics won't wait for you to feel completely prepared before being asked to take them on. This situation, these circumstances are what you've been preparing for, however little, however long, and it's not for you to choose what opponent that you get or when. It's just not up to us to determine it. We can influence it, but you know, it's not like we can just sit there and be like, hey, I want this deeply uncomfortable thing to happen on Tuesday, and then I'm gonna give myself Wednesday and Thursday off, and then Friday maybe I can bump into something that's fragile and break it and be inconvenienced for the 3 or 4 days that it takes in order to get something back from Amazon Prime. Typically, unless you're abhorrently rich, you can't really swing that. The regular challenges or inconveniences that are in our jobs lose their bite at least a little bit when confronted mentally this way. Whatever peace of mind you built up to that point stops being lost completely when your fortunes change, when things are regained or lost. With conscious practice, you move the locus of control and value from external things to within yourself, and you bind it more and more to your intentions and choices. Oh, that was Fantasy Star Universe, I think. That was the word that came to mind. So thank you for filling that blank. Can't say I played much of it. Significantly preferred the original online and the Dreamcast. You and everybody else alive that I've spoken to, I maybe one day I'll try to see if I can, you know, live those memories. I think that I'm just gonna have to vicariously through other people that may or may not be playing it now. I'm sure there's a private server, right? We love our private servers here, even if they're not officially endorsed by Twitch, or typically by the companies that that support them. So therefore, everything that I just said, everything that just came out of my mouth is complete satire for legal reasons. Blueburst, yeah, shocker, hey. We're mortal meat things, right? Our own bodies are external things that will ultimately do whatever they're going to do. We can influence it by exercise, diet, and medical care. We have a duty, and this is actually segueing somewhat back to Anon Y Mouse +1 on Telegram, who was asking, like, at what point do you just kind of like call it so that you don't completely overwhelm yourself, even if it seems like you should. Even if it seems like you should, there is a line in the sand that needs to be drawn, unless it's an extreme circumstance where you are preserving someone's life, and so you have to put yourself through the stress of putting yourself in that position willingly and then doing the thing, right? We have a role, a duty to our bodies too, not to neglect them or pay excessive attention to them. I'm gonna look at the Telegram one more time, see if there's any more comments. Let me check. CBT, when used in younger children who are autistic, it shows that it raises their anxiety and their need, the pressure to mask to get approval rather than having people accommodate them. It leads to a worsening of symptoms rather than a more relaxed mental state. How is Stoicism different than this? I've worked with people in the past throughout like 4 or 5 years that were autistic or had some other set of special needs or needed accommodations in some way, or a unconventional approach. And to be honest with you, the biggest deciding factor whether or not a person, autistic or not, was effectively helped was whether they were approached where they, and some combination of where they were at and where you want them to see themselves, like where you want to the best of your ability, because only the person, including the autistic person with which you are trying to support, only the autistic person or the non-autistic person understands what their own volitions are or what their own aspirations are. And as the assister, you are trying to identify that to the best of your ability, and then trying to show behaviors to give instruction or support or whatever word that you want to use in order to help them achieve that in themselves. That's my answer. I don't know if it was sufficient. What are your thoughts on free will? So Stoics had a bit of a cop out on this one. We have free will in a deterministic universe, okay, which I know is a statement that is a lot to unpack. Okay, forgive me. I'm going to try, and I cannot guarantee you that I'm going to do it well. So in human beings, we have free will in the sense that we, to at least to a degree, over our judgments, as far as like our specific judgments are concerned, have the say and what and how we go about things and why. Up to us, according to a very smart, in my opinion, Stoic named Epictetus, our opinions, our judgments, our choices, and how we try to exercise our free will or our intentions. At the same time, like I mentioned before, we are also physical meat people. We're kind of like we're basically souls that are piloting around meat mechs. So necessarily, things that are outside that are also physical and exist in meat space, in the same realm as like meat tubers or flesh tubers, right? Necessarily, if they come in contact, there's going to be a conflict, because I'm not to get all sciencey on you or nothing, but atoms cannot coexist in the same space. And I'm gonna wait to be one guide by that one person that's like, well, in these specific circumstances you can't. Not under normal circumstances. Under normal circumstances, you cannot physically occupy the same space as something that has something else corporeally occupying it, right? So it means that how you try to go about things is completely up to you. That is your free will. But things that are just built into the fabric of reality can't have to adapt to other things that also occupy that reality. Like if you put a blanket on me, I could try like, and I don't want the blanket. I can basically say to you, please don't put a blanket on me. I would not prefer to be this warm right now. But if you try to force the blanket on me and I'm not stronger than you, then it's basically deterministic that I'm not going to be able to wrangle myself out from the blanket unless I go for your crotch or something. But whether or not I try to ask you nicely is up to me. To put it in a less dumb way, in Stoicism, they would use the example of like just a block, like a children's block, right? Like one of the cylinder ones. The shape of the cylinder is going to affect how it rolls downhill when you put it at the top of the hill and you roll it down. If you try to your shape, your fucking, oh my god, your soul is influenced by your choices, right? So your soul can be thought of as the shape of the children's toy, and it's going to affect how it rolls down, whether it rolls down at all, what have you. But if you are rolled down the hill, it's gravity that is pulling you down. Or you could think of yourself in a more crude way, and this is just how they talked about things back then, like a dog that's tied to a cart that's moving, that's pulled by a horse. Like as much as like the dog can choose to go any which direction or to try to hop onto the cart and sit down and whatnot, they can try to the best of its ability in order to like gnaw the leash that's binding it to the cart. But if it's not strong enough to do it, then it is going to be pulled along with the cart. We have the advantage as human beings to reason through why what seems to be happening, what sort of self-control or patience or appreciation for the time that we weren't tied physically to a cart that we have in that moment. We're still going to be tied to the cart, right? And if we are not stronger then the cart that's pulling us, then we're gonna get pulled. But how we handle inwardly the act of being pulled along is up to us. And we have some degrees of influence, but we also should not base our peace of mind as far as we can on the ability to influence things or whether things are ultimately influenced at all. We are such meat people. Oh my god. Hello, welcome in Mermaid Streams. We were just talking for how long has it been? 51 minutes. We were talking 51 minutes about how wonderful your new model is playing Elden Ring. You got it going on, girl. I'm an expert at compliments. Can you please fill out the survey that's in the description for how good I am at like the complimenting and whatnot? I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. You got crazy bazonkers. I didn't want to be the one to come out and say it and be all crude like that, especially on this day, the day of my daughter's wedding. But you're too powerful, man. It's crazy. 10 out of 10 compliments. Awesome. I'm doing my job then. Epictetus, another Stoic, suggests thinking of our bodies like an Airbnb. My words, not his. They didn't have Airbnbs back then, as far as I could tell. Airbnbs that were temporarily occupying. We stay in our bodies for a while, and unless you're a degenerate, you leave it in a good condition on your way out. Your new feelings of self-starting, independence, resiliency, and drive need to be carefully shaped. Once you start trying to do good things for their own sake, regardless of whether or not you're going to be rewarded, or if it's the right thing to do, even if it's uncomfortable. You're going to feel as though you can conquer the world, more or less, but you still need to keep your physiological limits in mind. Even the Stoics, who had a reputation of being consistently very active and proactive, made time for themselves to do fun things, to let themselves breathe and hang out. Even Cato the Younger, who is one of the most famous Stoics during the Roman Civil War against Julius Caesar, took vacations. I mean, before the Civil War part, but he did take vacations, and then after that he was dead. So, you know, it kind of nips it in the bud a little bit. You take stock of whatever roles you have with respect to wherever you are in life, and you make sure that you're not giving yourself no extra room to maneuver, like I failed to do. But granted, I was studying in a vacuum, right? Like I mentioned, taking on all those things during college to the point that I was so physically stressed, even though mentally I was okay. I was so physically stressed that I started getting like ocular migraines and stuff. Don't let yourself get anywhere near that far. I wish I was able to give myself that advice. But you know, here we are, and I don't have a time machine on hand at the moment. If you are doing too much, too often, to the point that your mental bandwidth is functionally maxed out, you may, without realizing it, cause your overall attention to detail suffer and physically compromise yourself. If it's philosophically consistent to do whatever you need to do for as long as it takes, so be it. Like I mentioned before, if you need to drive all night in order to get to someone's house that could be having like a really difficult issue, or if like if you just need to do something in order to protect somebody else physically that's like in danger, and you are the guy or the gal, or whomever that's in a position to assist, that outside of those extreme outliers, if you, whatever you are personally in control of or can influence to the degree that you reasonably can, you need to be careful with how many things you're willingly inviting into your life. Avoiding physically compromising yourself just because you feel so generally good about your abilities and your thought process that you end up just tanking everything and anything and everything with good intentions. I used to get panic attacks a lot, but I've been working on them for years now, and that's awesome. That's huge. I can't even begin to overstate how incredibly important and impressive that is. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm also not gaslighting you. Okay? I really mean that. If it's... So I've been practicing Stoicism in a complete vacuum, like I mentioned before. For my first couple of years, I was so motivated to the point that I was doing the things I mentioned before, working with special needs populations, part of student government, full-time studenting, resident assistant, and I was also regularly writing on how to apply Stoicism, even because people that were around campus knew that I would refer to myself as a Stoic, or that I was something called a Stoic, and they didn't know what that was, and they asked me, and I was like, well, I might as well just mag dump the different strategies that I have, or that I'm actively using in order to improve people's lives online. It was around the time that I was doing way too much that I had that ocular migraine that I mentioned. I felt no less determined, but I knew at that moment that I was getting signs that I was taking on too much, and I needed to backpedal a bit. And eventually I set down student government, and I pulled back a bit in other areas. In our roles, a practicing Stoic chooses speech, behavior, actions with a heavy emphasis on whether it's well-intentioned, and not for any other reason as far as can be helped with whatever skill level that we're at. AKA, not doing things because others might notice it and be like, hey, good job on doing that thing, or for the possibility of getting rewarded, or to avoid being punished. Before I go into this, actually, my next thought, let me check okay, nobody else has commented on the Telegram thing, that's fine. Using an example from my own life, I worked in a K through 12 behavioral school with students with special needs that was 33% over capacity, but half the staff that you would hope that it would have. The principal was a type A personality, and she had a very intimidating aura. By the time of this example that I'm giving you, I developed a reputation for being able to help the most difficult students that the school had to help them develop better habits. And so, for better or worse, I was the point person for the principal, which at the time was fine. One day we did take on a student that was beyond any of the school's resources. A person that was tall, that was extremely fast, strong, virtually nonverbal, and spontaneously violent with no clear triggers or pattern. I'm talking, you would just be hanging out with him and he would try to give you a hug, right? And about 50% of the time, he would successfully give you a hug, whether you liked it or not, or he would headbutt you, maximum force, maximum drive. If he was playing Elden Ring, he put all of his stats into strength, and you know, he bonks you. He bonks you real good. He also had this very fun ability, which is fascinating, that the human body can do this. He had this amazing ability to throw up on command with no finger down. And not if people are squeamish, I'm gonna stop talking about it. Just know that it was insane, and it was instant. Okay, it was crazy. All right, I would have been impressed if the situation wasn't so deeply uncomfortable. Hi, welcome in, Lissa. Good time to enter in. Shout out, Lissa. Sheena. Lissa is a great and amazing person who is constantly working on charity stuff, and I am thankful for every day that she is in my life. So we took this student in that was way beyond the level of any of us. The staffing, the resources, there's only so much skill that a person can apply in order to help one-on-one effectively with a situation like that. So, understanding that, after some time working with him, I spoke up to the principal and I explained the situation, how it impacted me physically, that we need more resources, or that the student needed more specialized help, or all the above, actually. The principal actually refused, stating that it wouldn't look good, presumably on her, if she asked for those things, and then weirdly tried to appeal to, I don't know, like infatuation, like make me feel good by saying that I was her protege, which was her real words. It's just a weird thing. All right, I'm gonna run ads now so we're not interrupted. Take this opportunity to go get a drink, go take a break, go walk away, watch something mindless on YouTube. We'll be back. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I would recommend, if you are inclined to put whatever questions that you may or may not have, as long as it doesn't contain any personally identifiable information, anonymously into the link that you see on screen. That's pinned at the top of the chat. That's in the title. That's in the description, so on and so forth. If you've enjoyed this so far, even a little bit, following goes a long way. It also updates you when I'm around, and it helps the algorithm smooth out a little bit. If you enjoyed this a metric ton, you can subscribe to me. That's honestly easiest, and it gives you a bunch of benefits. And you get emotes. And how awesome is that? Everybody loves emotes. Everyone loves little dancing 16 by 16 JPEGs. Go on, Franny. Tell them how much about all the emotes that you have or are going to have. That all your crazy kooky emotes that you have so many. They're just spilling out of your fingers. All right. I'm gonna run ads. I will be right back. I will see you in a couple to a few minutes. Hello. All right, let's turn off music for a sec. It's time for enrichment. Chat has been good for a whole hour. So claps all around. We love that for us.
I'm a clown.
Take that!
Bingo!
Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
All right, let me find something.
Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm
Let
a
me
little lad who
first
loves berries.
Make
and
sure that this doesn't open to
cream.
anything that's untoward. Not that I'm looking at anything weird or nothing. I'm not. Just want to be sure. Okay, good. It is that window. And what if I do this? No? Okay. So it is this window. All right, and then I'm gonna take this and move this stuff, like the Tailgram site. How does that change things? Look like we have liftoff. Give me a minute. Processing, charging. Here you go. I have so many. I went on a real bender last night, chat. I went on a real bender to try to find you some good stuff here. Yeah, let's watch this. This is cozy. No, not that. Not that. You're getting feed for free. Congratulations. How you doing, chat? Welcome in, Dark. How you doing? I missed you. I hope that you missed me too. Well, I guess it's self-evident by the fact that you're here, and that you have a choice of going to literally any of the other 800 million streamers that are out there. So I think I answered my own question. This guy is insane. Lurk while I figure out dinner. Get back here. Sit down. Oh my god. The title of this YouTube video, by the way, is when you're overqualified for the job. Sit down. Nobody moves. Nobody moves until everyone has a good time. My wife is playing through Horizon Zero Dawn right now, and it's her first time playing it, and I'm extremely jealous. Like, wish I could have that experience again. For the first time. Just making sure this isn't too loud. I got a reminder on my phone to play rap with Felicity tomorrow. She's loving it. There was a time not that long ago that she wasn't really into action-adventure-y type games, but that I exposed her to PlayStation Premium, and she's been fucking letting it rip for days. I've been going crazy. This dude, what? All right, one more, and then we'll keep going. Enrichment time. How about this? I gotta manually volume adjust every time.
It's time for Sailor Goof.
There it is. Okay, this is a good volume. Whoop, let me put it on the other screen so it doesn't. What'd you say, Bo? Bo, I can't hear you. You guys speak up. Goodbye, Dark. Went to cook dinner and came back to Sailor Goofy. What did I miss? No, you're right on time. Chat's been good for like 40 minutes. I was just giving them their food. Giving you your food. We got one more. I know I said one more video after this, and that's the Sailor Moon one, but chat, you don't understand how deep in the mines I went for this shit. Here, Linkin Park if they sang the Pokemon theme. No, not that. Nobody cares about your chocolate. God. Okay, maybe a little loud. There we go. That's a pretty good volume. That's Stoicism, so extreme. Yeah, we're going deep. We're inceptioning this bitch. Whatever was. Catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Pokemon who understand the power that's inside. Don't you stay right there. You don't fucking move. Coxgun. Sit back down. Sit back down now. I didn't say you could go. You sit back down now. Sit down. Sit down now. No. And I'll teach you Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Okay, that's it. All right, back to talking about 2,000-year-old Greco-Roman philosophy. How about it, chat? If you enjoyed that, sit and spin. About that, huh? Always being nice to you. I figured that I would switch it up a little bit. Music back on, please. Let us swap to this. This is good, even though everything in this playlist is either infinitely too loud or not loud enough. So we'll just see how that goes. Look up here. Lurk. Oh no, not again. Why did everyone lurk? Get back here. What games does she like usually? So she likes adventure type games. She also likes point and click adventure games. We're talking about my wife right now. Enjoys puzzle games. Story games are a big one. All the above. All right, let me check the chat. Top tier singing. Thank you, Crucian. At least somebody has taste. Christ. All right, let us put this on the side here and this on the side in case I missed any other comments. I'm gonna break my machine because I'm moving a bunch of windows around in a way that I know it doesn't like. Let's check the Tailgram and see if anybody posted anything else. 5 comments. How do you apply Stoic principle in your daily life? Also, let me know if the music is too loud or just right. Not enough macaroni and too much cheese. I'll lower it very slightly, even though it's going to make some songs borderline muted. How do you apply Stoic principle in your daily life? Also, how do you hold yourself consistent to your principles with all that life throws at you? First bullet point is that there is no shortage of the number of times that I fail on a micro level. Sometimes. Ultimately, what is considered a successful Stoic action, in my own eyes, based on my own practice, is if the thing that I ultimately try to do in the world is well-intentioned or not. If what I am doing is not aimed at trying to improve the lives of other people or their quality of life, or make them feel better about some circumstance that they're dealing with by being accidentally or intentionally funny in some way to them, then that is a successful action. If I am trying to do something for the sake of a number going up, like, which granted is like 90% of streaming, right, is wanting to see the number go up. If I'm doing something for the sake of a number, or I'm doing something purely to try to impress someone, or I'm doing something for the sake of trying to give you, or trying to have you give me your credit card information, then I am failing. If I detect that I am doing any one of those things, or thinking about doing one of those things, or having it be like a simple majority reason why I'm doing something, I just make myself not do it. I just don't. I just forbid myself from committing the action until I try to reason why I'm feeling that way. I try to overcome any unnecessary hold that any of the numbers or the people have over me, and then I try to reattempt it. And if I still cannot try to behave philosophically consistently, to try to do the right thing for its own sake, as like a majority reason why I'm doing something, then I just call it. I say, okay, apparently I need a day. I need like 24 to 48 hours to not do this thing. And we've been talking about like pretty big, like pointed examples of how to try to behave when, you know, your life is on the line, or you are in a bad financial situation, or you're experiencing some other type of really difficult thing that's happening that may be long term. But it honestly, it starts with the small things. There was a dude named Musonius Rufus who was considered one of the greatest Stoics, and so perhaps it is the biggest shame that almost nothing of his material survives at all. Like, out of the 800 billion books that Stoics wrote and talked about and wouldn't shut up about to anyone that would listen, including literally like consisting of the stuff I'm talking about now, there's maybe like some excerpts out of a lot of it. There's maybe like 4 books, like the Discourses, the Essays and Letters from Seneca, the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, and then there's some fragmentary stuff that's from Musonius Rufus. Musonius Rufus was a huge advocate of paying attention to micro decisions that you're making, and learning to improve yourself, improve your virtues on that very tiny level. So to give you an example that may be a little bit strange, but what isn't at this point in the channel, and I'll re-chat in a moment. I know that there's a lot that's going on. When I was in college practicing this stuff initially, there was I hesitate to call it an Italian place. It really wasn't. It wasn't an Italian place. It was a place that made spaghetti and like meatball subs, and that was its thing. But the spaghetti was unbelievably fucking good. And Musonius Rufus would talk a lot about how appetite would play into our decision making more than it probably should, and that we can take opportunities in those situations to deliberately choose to do something small and different in those kind of circumstances. So instead of me gunning for the spaghetti like I would all the time, when I started practicing this stuff, I was like, I really want the spaghetti. I know for a fact that the spaghetti is going to be good, but I am able to build appreciation for the next time that I get spaghetti. If I don't happen to get spaghetti now, I'm still going to get food. I'm still going to feed myself. I'm still going to get something that's probably going to be tasty. It's just not going to be the exact thing that I want in this exact moment. And that's fine, because if I go and get like, a sandwich or something, then I build resistance to the idea that I need to have spaghetti. And that resistance, that willingness to steer myself to do something other than what I happen to, based off of my animal brain saying spaghetti tastes good, go get spaghetti, I become the acting agent. I am the one that is deciding what I put into my body, not the fucking random neurons that are firing in my brain that are saying spaghetti good, go get spaghetti. And over time, just from doing little micro choices like that, not to deny yourself spaghetti because you hate yourself, but because you are building independence of mind to your circumstances, over and over again. And then when you get the spaghetti, you know that you're getting the spaghetti because you chose to, and not because your animal brain, your lizard brain is saying that you have to have spaghetti every day or you're gonna die. In moderation is exactly right. Right. No cozy games? What do you mean? I don't know why, but my dogs just started howling. It's probably because I was singing. Hello, my king. I hope you ate something delicious and drank some water. I ate, as it happens, spaghetti, which did not occur to me until just now. Apparently I have spaghetti on the brain. Yeah, I had spaghetti earlier, and then I chased it with peppermint mocha creamer coffee. So I'll let you be the judge if that is considered delicious and or water. Wait, what did I miss? I think communication and shadow work is good. I hope you're having a good start to your week, dear. I got chat. You do you. Well, I hope the same for you too. X-ray specs. I heard something similar concerning judges and how harsh their sentencing. Hey girl, how you doing? Now you want some spaghetti? Me too. Haha. I think moderation instead of a complete cutoff. Yeah, it's about discipline. The rejection of desire. Ew. Ew to what part? The spaghetti chased by coffee? I have no standards. Imagine what it's like to be my wife. Have you seen the PAL rap? No, but I'm gonna VIP you so you can post a link in chat. VIP blue blur. All right, you can let it rip, blue blur, with the link. Spaghetti with coffee, poor stomach and ass. I didn't eat. I didn't drink the coffee like in tandem with the spaghetti. The spaghetti, imagine it's like a cake. Okay, imagine it's like an ice cream cake. It's like it's in layers. It's not intermixed. Okay, it's not like I poured the coffee into the spaghetti bowl. What not mod? The mod is probably gonna follow pretty close behind. Goodbye. Goodbye, X-Ray. Let me put this link into my folder and I will look at it soon. I promise. And I trust your judgment. I will probably add it to the enrichment folder. I just have to make sure that whatever comes my way doesn't get me content ID'd or, well, doesn't get me DMCA'd or copyright struck. So I'm going to add this to my research folder, my meme mining folder. Where is it? Meme mining. There it is. Let's do, hang on. I'm going to change let's do lo-fi, just general video game lo-fi. Oh, this is Stardew Valley. How comforting is that? While we talk about spaghetti and coffee. I'm joking, I have to stay for chat. I like coffee and spaghetti, so I'm considering. But you combine it the same, for God's sake. A little on the dark side. I have 2 separate stomachs. Serena, don't you worry about me. A little on the dark side, but we've all heard the Pal World jokes by now. I hope your tummy is very well, just like you. I hope the same about you. What did you have to eat? If you can, blue blur in the Discord too. I'm gonna do socials, just in case everybody wants to see everything everywhere that I'm posting. In my Twitch About Me page, there is also a list of all these links and what I typically put them in. Holy shit on my face. It is Nespa. Hello, Nespa. Oh my god. The queen is here. Fuck me in the mouth. That's a figure of speech, chat. It's not literal. Nespa. Are you okay? Tell me you're okay. Are you doing good? Are you doing a little good? You don't have to say anything. I'm saying what my brain parts want me to out loud with my mouth bits. Almost okay. That is fine. I am absolutely content with that. And not even remotely because you just financially supported me. I'm just glad to see your name. Better now that I'm laughing about shitting in your mouth. No, it's not in my mouth. It's on my face. It's a process, rules that we abide by. We live in an ordered, just universe. Okay, you don't go for the mouth right off the bat. Come on, everyone is hee. I think I made it self-evident, but I missed you. Okay, let me double check to see if anybody entered anything else into chat. If Shimi was bitten by a zombie, some guy on the internet says if Shimi was bitten by a zombie, could you shoot her in the head so she didn't turn into a zombie? According to a zombie survival test that I took 9 years ago, I got an A-, and I'm pretty sure one of the questions was this exact one, where it said, would you be willing to do what it takes in order to survive? And I think so, yeah. Oh, wait, could you shoot her in the head so she didn't turn into a zombie? Not if she was already a zombie. I think I would at least say sorry about it before I did it. I don't think I would like gun for it, literally or figuratively. I don't think it would be. I think that I wouldn't let it turn into, what is it? Some famous book where it's like, look out on the lake, see the butterflies or whatever. And then the guy shoots his friend in the head because his friend was obsessed with a lady in town and then crushed the shit out of her because he cared about her so much and accidentally broke her back. That's a fucked up book to show a middle schooler for sure. Fucking you in the mouth. I miss you too, Grass Popcorn. Did you hear back about that job yet? Allegedly, it's going to be to this week. Whether I hear anything back about the job, I applied for a job and I got a second interview, and they seem like normal people. The job that I'm explaining at least said out loud to me that they don't subscribe to KPIs, that they have sorry, not that they have ghouls, not like fucking vampire zombie creatures and in their office, that they have goals that they aim for, and yet they just expect you at the end of the day to be an adult that's willing to try to do your job. And that was a huge improvement over what I had before, for sure. But we'll see. I'm taking it one day at a time, just letting myself breathe from the absolute toxic cesspool that my prior job was readily and greedily turning itself into. Okay, so what did we talk about before I went on the break? So we were talking about the student that was insanely fast, extremely strong, virtually nonverbal, and spontaneously violent without any clear triggers or patterns whatsoever. I spoke up to the principal. She called me her protege for whatever reason, that it wouldn't look good, presumably on her. But I think she said the school, if she asked for additional support or, like actual resources in order to help somebody with this particular web, this giant web of interrelated needs that this student had, and that she wanted me to replace her one day. And so I should start thinking through her lens. And I reiterated to her that if she didn't course correct, either I or another staff member could, granted already was, like badly injured by the student. By badly injured, I mean that he headbutt me, he bit me. I mean, those sort of things were not part of the course, but they weren't uncommon at the time. But something worse than that. And something worse than that could happen, because we just didn't have the staff. It was just me versus this effectively grown human being that would and did turn on me, regardless of how they seemed to be doing at the time. They also had this quirk they did not mention, where they only framed responses in the word yes. Even if they meant no, they actually meant yes. And they had no facial expression change, no bodily language change that indicated how they were actually feeling at the time. I love when people let me be an adult and do my job. Congratulations on leaving your old job. It was about time. I spoke to a counselor before leaving, just to make sure I got like a professional background involved. And she was like, yeah, that seems, and these are my words, I'm paraphrasing, that seems toxic as shit. You should leave. That is the correct thing to do. Ray, I'm gonna go watch a movie with Lazy. I hope you have a beautiful stream. I'll be lurking. I saw you in other people's chat, by the way. Ray is king. So good. So true. I hope this student did not shit on your face. That sounds awful. No, but he was able to throw up on command. He was able to throw up on command. I didn't leave that in there just because some people are squeamish, but he did have that ability. And it wasn't gagging. It was like full on, like you ate like 50 cheeseburgers and then you intentionally went on the Superman from Six Flags. Okay. Crazy. Fascinating. The fuck yeah, dude. He could just do it like on command. But so the principal refused. I reiterated that I didn't want to wait until somebody got really hurt. And if she wasn't going to do anything about it, that I had full intentions to leave. This was despite me not being in a great financial position, all things considered, but knowing the relative influence that I had, that it was my duty to the student, the staff, and the student body, and my philosophy as a whole to risk my financial security for what seemed to me to be the greater good in that moment, based on the resources that I had, based off of my best judgment or knowledge in that situation of what the overall situation was and what needed to happen to make sure that the student got actual care. In a situation that involved a different, very difficult student, I needed to call the police. Not long after that, I accepted another position elsewhere. Sometime after, with eyes now in the school, it closed down for good. Which, I mean, it was at that point, it was a long time coming. So not every example of doing the right thing, whether or not you're rewarded, needs to be as dramatic as what I just said. Simple actions in much less extreme circumstances, like the spaghetti example that I gave you, are no less impactful on you as a practicing Stoic. Probably better for everyone that it shut down. Great is good. True. True. My sister in Christ. Absolutely. I ain't gonna argue with that one, not on that front. A Stoic named Seneca once said, sometimes just getting out of bed is an act of courage. He would knowledge jump elsewhere, paraphrasing, every action in life is done knowingly or unknowingly in terms of whether it's honorable or dishonorable, and affects their thought process at all times. A good person is always going to try to do honorable things, even if it's exhausting, even if it's inconvenient, even if it puts them in danger if absolutely necessary. This also means that they'll never do anything that would make them betray this part of themselves, not for money, not for pleasure, not for power. Nothing can push them away from what improves them. Nothing can tempt them from doing something or tempt them to do something in spite of that. Welcome in, Lazy. I'm going to shout you out because it would be gross to me to not do that with how amazing you are, Strawberry. I'm just going to come out and say it. Lazy is probably one of the best artists that I've laid eyes on in a long time. She is constantly interacting with chat. She is excellent with her tools. The art that she makes is amazing. She's also has an infectious personality. So, you know, there's a reason why I mainline her content, and pretty much right from the start of her stream. I collect great artists. That's apt, considering that you're one yourself. So the takeaway of all this noise that's come from me come out of me for however long it's been, apparently almost an hour and 30 minutes, just about, is that you have power in yourself. It's waiting. It's in there. Even if you normally feel powerless, and you can tap into that built-in strength one deliberate choice at a time. Even on a micro level, even just getting out of bed, even just holding the door open for somebody else. You don't have to go full bore. You don't have to seek out volunteering. You don't have to join student government. You don't have to, you know, try to help every single old lady across the street that you see, or actively, you know, go around the city or town and helping little old ladies and making a day out of that. You absolutely can. But those very tiny decisions do contribute towards the habit building of doing things for its own sake, of willfully in those moments saying to yourself, I am not going to let myself do this because it looks good. I am going to do this because it is my role as a social, rational animal that is here to help people out and not be shitty, and prove through my behavior to other people that it's possible to think this way, it's possible to behave this way, and to help people for its own sake, and just letting the rest happen the way that it does. Well, thank you so much. Let me check the Telegram one more time. Take a looky. Okay, and hope everyone in the YouTube chat is doing good. If you're not familiar, if you recently joined, we are simul streaming to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. If you are feeling extremely generous, heading over to YouTube and subscribing to me on there is a simple action that has a big influence. Once I hit 500 YouTube subscribers, YouTube or Google at large will then deign to allow other people to support me monetarily with their own finances if they so chose. Before I hit 500, I'm nobody. Once I hit 500, it's real shit. You know, that old dank meme. Conversely, if you're on YouTube and you feel like, you know, wading into the digital swamp waters of Twitch, along with the rest of us, getting a little dank, a little dirty, following me on here also helps in the same way. Boosts the algorithm, points other people towards me, nets you some emotes if you care to talk to me on here. It just helps out all around. I'm so happy I tuned in tonight. I'm happy for that too. Stoic, what's up, Lazy? What's up? What's going on? Tell me what's wrong. What's you? Tell your dad what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Serena just told me. Are these song lyrics? Because I got songs too. Where is it? Where's my thing? Let me. What's that? You ate pasta with coffee? No, not with coffee. She is misrepresenting the circumstances. Okay, the story is getting out of control. I had spaghetti and then I had coffee. Granted, in between bites of spaghetti, that also had hot sauce in it, by the way. Buffalo wings hot sauce in my spaghetti sauce. I didn't like lay it on, but it was in there for sure. I had coffee in between. I'm on the razor's edge of culinary delights at all times, all right? I bet you had a boyfriend that looks like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year. I can't play that on I can't play that on Twitch. So you're just gonna have to. I do have this though. Let me turn off. Hang on, I gotta wait for the ads. I don't have YouTube Premium, so you know. That's just the situation. 5 more seconds, 3 more seconds, then you get. I could definitely use a breather. I have to figure out why the Bluetooth headset for my TV is not working properly. Yeah. Serena says that she loves you a lot because you're so random. Well, that's good. So this is like 90% of my natural voice. So apparently inside of me are 2 wolves. One, which is hyper focused on trying of thinking, acting, saying things based off of a virtue philosophy from 2,000 years ago. And the other one is just like a fucking psycho that is just firing on all cylinders at all times, just randomly doing whatever seems good in the moment. It just shows how comfortable I've gotten with you guys over time. I keep feeding the wrong wolf. It's getting worse. I love the gifts around. Yeah, we went. I also have this one that you can't really see. So let me change that. Give me a second. Sources. Enrichment time. Which one is it? Oh, here it is. There it is. There it is. And there's also one that's also hiding back here. There you go. There it is. There it is, dude. We'll just keep adding to it over time, won't we? Okay. I'll put the music back on. Okay. So, takeaway, all this noise is that even through the smallest decisions, you can help yourself improve. You can become stronger. Even if it seems like whatever it is that you're doing is just a little itty bitty part of what is otherwise a very long day, it matters. The Stoics harped all the time about how it's never too late to start practicing. You don't have to become a Stoic. Okay? Let me just fucking lay it out. You don't have to become a Stoic to gain from what it is that I'm saying. You don't even have to call yourself a Stoic or even a practicing Stoic. You don't even have to acknowledge out loud in other spaces with your hot, wet mouths that you are a Stoic or that you're thinking about practicing. You can, absolutely, if you so choose. But you don't have to subscribe to anything. I mean, you know, except for my channel, you know, because then you get a whole bunch of other benefits and blah, blah, blah. The Stoics harped all the time. It's never too late to start. You're 18? In between prefacing everything with it's giving, ordering a new iPhone every 5 seconds, buying V-Bucks on the reg, and mainlining avocado toast. Start thinking of negative things not in terms of what's happened or happening to you, but what characteristics, courage, endurance, patience, acceptance the universe gave you specifically to deal with it. Are you 30? In between making jokes about rage comics that literally no one older or younger than you understands, start thinking of practicing consciously, deliberately, being a good person to be your real job. Make that your real career, with at least one aspect of everything else being fuel for that fire. Are you 50 or older? So were a billion Stoics, new Stoics at the time. A lot of the stuff had been spouting was originally written and talked about. Let me read. Hi Tia, welcome in, Stoic Cult. What the fuck is going on here? It was enrichment time. Mint, you missed it. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to watch the VOD and pog quietly to yourself. I'm gonna end it there. I think we did pretty good. If you enjoyed this even a little, follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. If you enjoyed this a ton and have the means, subbing on Twitch is easiest. It nets you a bunch of benefits and cool emotes. I'm gonna put 2 things in chat now: socials and support. Nets you a bunch of benefits, cool emotes, eventually unlocks things for me in Twitch's backend like better analytics, more emote slots, a smoother algorithm. You can also check out my About Me section to see everywhere I post and do things. The support that I just put in chat is different money and free ways to help me out. Next stream is tomorrow, 8 p.m. EST. We're playing Raft with Felicity Ryan and her hubby, Sign of Flame. I appreciate you. We're going to find a raid target. The raid message can be Stoic is stinky, along with whatever emotes seem good to you. Let us look. TV, Stoic. Let us send you over to Amanda Bear. She is a fellow member of the Ham Club, which is a organization of like-minded individuals that are not psychos, and I am one of them. And she's also extremely nice, infectiously so, very interactive with chat, and has a sweet voice and personality, and who doesn't love that? We could all use more of that in our lives. So I'm gonna send you over to her. Raid, remember, so I could stinky, along with whatever emotes that you would prefer. Raid. Amanda Bear X. Alrighty, I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Be there, or I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll chase you down. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I will, though. I'll fucking do it. No, I wouldn't do that. Seriously, though, I don't get tired, and I know when you sleep and where you sleep. No, that's not true. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. I appreciate you.